welcome to the I'm Possible podcast, episode 9, with me, Anna Essen.
Hello, beautiful community. I'm so happy to have you back. In today's episode, I want to share with you something that I became aware, um, I think, a few years ago, but the last few months I was practicing this more and more consciously. And I wanted to share with you because I know that by mastering this skill, it can change everything. It can actually move mountains. And what I want to talk about with you today is the powerful, unspoken message that we are always sending with every art of communication we are having. Doesn't matter whether we are sending a voice note, a video, an email, a WhatsApp, some short response on post or whatever, any kind of communication. It's always infused with the vibration that you are currently holding within your heart towards the subject matter, towards the person, towards the situation. So even if we use the most polite, the most compassionate words, even if we use a tons of smileys, I can assure you that the people who are receiving the message on the other side, not consciously, the one that are sensitive to this kind of vibration and frequency, they will sense it actually consciously, but the one that are not, they will get this unconscious feeling that something is off in the message if your vibration is not matching the words. If, for example, let me say you are angry at a friend because something happened, okay? And but you don't want to express this anger because maybe as a child you learn to be calm, don't speak out, don't create conflicts, because maybe you learn to create a harmonic environment. That was me. I was trying always to create a harmonic environment, so I was trying to avoid conflicts. On the one side, because I didn't want the people to feel bad. On the other side, I didn't want to have this kind of like angry emotion within myself. And also sometimes I didn't felt well enough equipped in my way to express myself. So to have the right words that I can use them, so I can take my emotions or my experience or my feeling and put it into the right context in a way that is not misunderstood. So that was kind of a fear that I was having, and it was especially now you can hear. So I'm not a native English speaker. I'm also not a native German speaker, right? So I'm been born and raised in Bulgaria. But if I need to be honest, in none of the three languages, I feel so strong, sophisticated, eloquent that sometimes I'm mixing the words. Sometimes I'm searching for, I'm saying something in a way, and I knew that's not the best way to express it. But then when I became aware about the hidden and the most powerful message, because, for example, sorry that I'm putting a small escort, but when you listen to communication experts, they say that I think around 70% it's a body language, the way how people receive us. And the rest are the words and the expression and so on. If you ask me personally, 99% is the vibration and the energy we're putting into the message. And the 1% is like a combination of the words, the body language, and everything. Especially when we are now in the era of writing a lot, posting a lot, so you cannot see the person actually articulating it. Of course, when you listen to a message like this, you can kind of get the vibration of my voice, the frequency. You can see whether I'm smiling, like now, you immediately can hear it, or whether I'm sad in this moment, and my life energy is like that. So you can sense this, but in a written message, there is no body language, there is no change in the tonality. So going back, I realize I might not be as eloquent as some other people in these languages. Because let me be honest, I grew up with this now 3 languages, and I have the possibility to express myself also in other languages. And so, but I was so perfect. And when you remember the last episode, we were talking about being perfect or trying to be perfect in everything. So I kind of like punished myself of not being perfectly eloquent till the moment when I realize it's not the words. Of course, they give kind of the container. No, wrong. The words are inside the container. It's my vibration. It's my energy. It's the intention of the message that is actually providing the container of how the message most probably will be received. And I'll tell you also why I am saying most probably. The moment I realized that these things, I stopped trying to be perfect in finding the perfect words. Or when I, for example, putting the information on my website for some courses, or when I remember when I was writing the information for the I Am Possible Club, and I was like, oh my God, I have so much to say and to put there, but I don't want to overwhelm the people. And also, sometimes it's difficult to put it in a written way that you can express with stories, right? So, but then I was like, no, I'm focusing on the vibration of the intention that I'm putting out there. And that helps me stop trying to be perfect in my expressions, no matter what language I'm used, whether we're speaking now in English, speaking in German, un poco español, na bulgarski, and other languages. Okay, so that is my personal how to say it observation. And also what I realize is when I tend to replay very fast. I get a message, I get triggered, and I have the need to replay very fast, right? So kind of to to respond immediately. And most of the time, I wasn't so happy with the response, because I knew it was more triggered from my ego, because there was something inside of me. So what I also learned to do is I might write the message the way how I feel it, but not send it. And then I'll just take myself out of the situation. Either will reflect depending on what is it, or I'll just go a little with my day, because I also learned communication via written messages. Doesn't matter whether it's WhatsApp, Telegram, and so on. The people get so used to get immediate response, so they actually are the one navigating our days, controlling our days. Okay, drop you a message, you read it, you didn't reply immediately. Why? And I learned for myself to embody a communication that is not made by a phone. Somebody called me and I pick up, or I meet with somebody. It's an asynchronous communication. That means somebody send it and I can decide when to reply. Okay? So that's a small insight. Especially here in Dubai, people write your message and they expect very often immediately answer. I don't do this and I don't care, right? Because I want to reply from the most evolved, integrated version of myself, and not from the one that has been felt to be controlled. I also don't have push notifications, so I don't see when people write me. So I choose to open the app and read a message, and I don't get triggered by pop-ups that, hey, you have a message. So going back, I'm going to write the message or the email or the response, and then I'm going to sit with it. And in some moment, I'll get kind of inspiration to write the right answer. Or what I started also doing is I put it in ChatGPT and I say, hey, listen, this is my response, but the vibration is a little off. Can you put it more compassionate and yet firm? For example, if I want to communicate something in business direction where I see people has crossed boundaries, I want to be firm and yet I want to be compassionate. I don't want to be judgmental. I don't want to be coming from a situation of like of negative frequency, of kind of lower frequency. And then I let ChatGPT adjust it. And then I go through and I feel into the message. And very often when I read the message and ChatGPT write it very compassionate, I'm able to awaken these feelings within my heart. So I see how I shift from maybe some lower frequency vibration to a little more higher frequency. It could be a balance, it could be certainty, it could be like gratitude, whatever, right? And the moment I feel that I shifted to a vibration that I feel good in this to send the message, and the message also resonate, or I adjust it so it resonate with me, then I send it. And I can tell you, even in a very, very challenging conversation where I needed to call upon an action that somebody did that it was, in my eyes, inappropriate towards me in a certain context, where I didn't want it to kind of to call upon the person or to make them, not about make them feel bad, but more about to put it in a way that is coming from a version of myself that is self-loving, sovereign, powerful, strong, and yet compassionate and graceful, right? Especially sometimes in a business context, we women tend to experience not always very business-like responses from men. And I definitely, or sometimes crossing boundaries, because I'm a very friendly, very open, very heart open person, like joyful person. And sometimes in the business context, men tends to use or to see this friendliness or this openness as an invitation. So I need to pull this energy and to put my boundaries, right? I don't want to change myself. I don't want to to change my joyful nature and open nature and a curious nature just for someone on the other side to not feel suddenly attracted towards me, but I want to put the right boundaries and context. So this was kind of like communication that I had to handle in the last few weeks, but also towards like friendships, past relationships, and so on and so forth. We can make sure that we infuse the most highest integral version of us, but this helps till a certain level. And let me tell you why. Because it's not our responsibility, and please listen to this very carefully, especially if you are someone who are sometimes willing to be people pleasing. I was the people pleaser who wanted everyone to feel in harmony, to feel good, not feel offended, to not show my power and strength. So I was dimming my light, not speaking out my truth so other feels better. So that's why I was avoiding these conflicts, right? That was one of the reasons. So if you are such a woman who feels that you want everyone around you to feel good, to like you, everyone to feel good about you, to not create conflicts, let me tell you something. You and I, we can be responsible for the message we put together. We can be responsible for infusing the best possible vibration, right? That is something we can learn. But also, please don't be hard on you if you respond out of like triggering, right? It's okay. Be compassionate towards yourself. Be compassionate if such a response or message goes out. because you get triggered in something that lays within you, but sit with this, observe it, and allow it to come to the surface so you can transmute it and integrate it back within you. So I'm going to talk in another episode about the power of observation and integration, right, of all these parts of us. So we can be responsible for putting the message in the most highest and integer version of ourselves. But we cannot be responsible for the response, for the way how the other person will receive it, because that's the other person's responsibility to look if they get triggered, why they get triggered. And most of the cases is because of some underlying limiting beliefs, experience of some underlying trauma or whatsoever. Don't take it as like, okay, trauma is like, oh, these bad things and I trigger it. It's not your responsibility for triggering it. It's their responsibility to acknowledge it, to observe it, to see it, to work on it, and to transmute it and integrate it back in themselves. So we can do everything that we can do from our side in the best possible way, and yet we can get a shitty response. But if you know that you have sent your message from most integrated version of yourself, you have nothing to feel bad about. The only way when you can allow yourself to reflect back on yourself is to check, oh, did I really send it from a most integrated, evolved, loving, caring version of myself that I want to represent? Or it was still something, some limiting beliefs speaking out, some subconscious beliefs speaking out through or speaking through me into this message? Could be. But then you are getting a present from this person, a gift to reflect on yourself. So that means when we trigger somebody with our message and we know we have put the highest intention possible, then see it as a gift to this person. You're giving them a reflection, a possibility to reflect on your message, a possibility to see something that is within themselves, and it's a gift. So hold this space. It's very important. And by the way, by recording the last few sentences, I'm sitting in the balcony and having the trees in front of me. And there is a very small bird. It looks almost like a colibri, but it's not. And it has a very shimmering blue, green, black colors. And it's so beautiful. And it just was flying here. And then now another bird is playing in front of me. And it's giving me such a joy. And I just want to give you this joy and energy. And to really thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to the end of this message. And thank you for allowing my personal experience to awaken or to more about to make you remember something about yourself. Because this podcast is about remembering and joyful integrating of the unique essence that you are holding within yourself, that you are. I wish you an exceptional week ahead. I love you. I see you. With joy, Anna.